Hello, this is what probably will be the first of my videos for section 8.5. So I've logged on as a student right here, and you can see two things. The first one is going to be my in-class examples, so I'm going to be opening that in just a moment. And then you can see the assignment 8.5. So essentially it's odd questions on the bottom, and then we're going to be doing the even questions. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And here it comes. So notice I do have a first thing right here, but I'm going to start with some notes instead. So I'll need to create a little area here to do some notes on, and then we can come back to some sample problems here and go a little further. All right, so go ahead and check my pen setting here. And today is the 27th, or at least that's the day I'm recording this, for 27-21. This section is called Using Intercept Form. And it is lesson 8.5, so chapter 8, section 5. So you've already come across several forms. Mostly, you can look back at your notes on the various forms we've used. This one, though, is I'm going to use function notation, so f of x, but you could also say y equals if you want to. So this is what's called intercept form. So you might still have the letter A out front, which hopefully you remember what that does. But then in parentheses, you're going to have an x minus a number. And in this case, I'm using a p. And then x minus another number. In this case, I'm using a q. Notice that the equation has negatives built into it. So what I want to point out here before we go to some examples are the x-intercepts first off, they are known as zeros. Now, real quick, they're known as zero because they are something that will make the expression equal zero. You'll see that in just a second. Okay. Also, the let's see. I'm going to put a little star or something right there. So they are equal to the number or numbers after the negatives. You know, I think I might change my mind on how I'm going to say that. I'm going to say, instead of negatives, I'm going to say after the minuses. So, as an example, if you have f of x is equal to x minus 3 and x minus 4, right there, the intercepts are 3 and 4. Okay? But if you have something like this, let's say x minus 2, but x plus 5, the intercepts are 2 and negative 5. So remember, it's the number after the negative. So you can, if you have a plus there, you might want to think of that as x minus the number. In this case, x minus negative 5. So the negative 5 is going to be your intercept, which is also known as the 0. All right. I think I also want to say one more thing before we get going. The axis of symmetry is in the middle. Between the intercepts. So to get the axis of symmetry, but I'll write that thing here. So I'll say axis of symmetry is x equals, you add them two together. So p plus q divided by 2. That's going to be how you find it, although we are going to be using Desmos, so we're going to kind of see it that way anyway. Okay, so I'm looking at my examples here. So remember, during this video, pause if you need to write. So I'm not going to put pauses into my video since you can pause it yourself. And I have a limited amount of time that it lets me do these. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead to the first example right there. So it is number 8 in the book. So your homework starts with number 7. So the directions are right up here at the top. It says we're going to identify which of these is the graph right here. And then notice they are already putting in what an axis of symmetry is, and if it has let's see, x-intercepts. Notice the two on the left have only one vertex each. So if you want to graph these, remember, you can always pull this over. And this does look a little weird, but it's going to work. So you would type in y is equal to, and then x minus 2. And then right so far that's a line, but put in another one, x plus 2. And there you go. Here is a parabola, and negative 2 comma 0, 2 comma 0. And it looks like it's both of these, so we need to figure out which one it is. So I'm going to look at the vertex right there at 0 comma negative 4. That's the one on the bottom. So here is my correct graph. Now it does ask for the domain and range. So remember we talked about domain. In this class, the domain will always be all real numbers. When you get to Algebra 2 and you turn these things sideways, they'll be different. But for you, just remember it's always all real numbers. The range is based on what the y's are doing. So I'm going to go back over here to the vertex. The lowest y is a negative 4. So that means all the other y's have to be bigger than negative 4. So it's greater than, to move my keyboard out of the way there, it's greater than or equal to negative 4 because it could be negative 4 right at the vertex. And all the other ones are above it. So I'll check my answer, and you can see that I am correct on all of those. Okay, so right now I'd like you to go ahead and try the next two. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep on going, but I'd like you to stop the video and try numbers 10 and 12. Okay, so stop now. And now I'm going to go over these. All right, so this first one here, we've got a negative 4. I'm just going to type the whole thing again. So we've got f of x is equal to -4, and then x minus 7 and x minus 3. Okay, drag that up a little bit here, and I'm even going to click right there. So I can see where my vertex is. It's at 5 positive 16. So this one works. It has to be this one in the upper left. It's the only choice. Okay, domain, all real numbers. And then because the vertex has a y value of 16 and it's going down, everything has to be less than or equal to 16. And here is that option right there. I'll check my answer, and it's good. And then I'll move on to number 12, which I had already asked you to do. So if you haven't, please stop and do it first. So I'm typing in this one, x minus 3, and then x plus 4. Okay. You can click on the house if you want, but sometimes that doesn't let you see everything. So I'm going to go ahead and click right there. So notice there's fraction or decimals here, but over here that's fractions. That's okay. So 24, that would be and a half. So here's 24 and a half. They all seem to have 24 and a half. Okay, so the first part is negative 0.5. So that's negative 1 over 2. So it's not that one. It's not that one. It's got to be this one right here. Domain, all real numbers. And the range, well, it's going down. And the largest one is this right here, this 24 and a half. So it's got to be less than or equal to 24 and a half. So I'm going to go ahead and check my answer right there. And I'm going to run out of space, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this particular video right here, and then I will continue on.